Chapter 21. Hurl the dragon into the bottomless pit. The serpent crawls back into its rightful place. He seizes the dragon, and it becomes the serpent of old. The power of the dragon exits, and the dragon's energy goes away. If so, wouldn't the serpent go in search of the land from which it got lost? Would it not go in search of Eden? It would, because the serpent was banished from Eden. At that time, our eyes open. Now, we go in search of our master, crawl into our rightful place, and we're governed over by Adam. We go in search of the source. All things have been created from inside of God. Because God created them, peace enters inside all of creation. The serpent had disguised itself as a dragon and was embracing venom. But God seized it, and it was the serpent of old. Since God binds the dragon, venom can't come out, and the dragon's strength comes to an end. And so, the energy of the dragon exits. From now on, he uses the flesh that moved in any way that it wanted. We can't go a path that is misaligned with God. We must obey and go the path of truth, so that we can go in search of the source. Then the serpent will say to Adam and Eve, "You have labored much because of me," and it will go into Eden together with them. As stated in Acts 2:35, until the enemy is made into a footstool, Jesus sits at the right hand of God. Now, in order for God to be revealed, the enemy must be stepped on, and the serpent must crawl back into its rightful place. Hurl the dragon into the bottomless pit. Acts 9:8-9 says, Saul got up from the ground, but when he opened his eyes, he could see nothing. So they led him by the hand into Damascus. For 3 days he was blind and did not eat or drink anything. That Saul could not see anything for 3 days means Saul's eyes became blind, but he opens his eyes again. Saul's eyes being closed and Paul's eyes opening means that God gave him a different world. God hurled the dragon into the bottomless pit. God must trap the person I. All lustful and greedy thoughts, arrogance, pride, all these things inside of me must be trapped and bound. When the life inside my spirit begins the movement of God and rises from inside, new heaven and new earth become fulfilled. From now on, it is the time when God must stand inside us as King. Until now, the Antichrist has stood inside us. When someone says that the Antichrist stands, we think that a human, someone who can be seen, is the one who stands. But if we cannot open the eyes of our spirits, we are this ignorant. This is because we look at the Word with the eyes of our flesh. From now on, God seizes the dragon that controls our flesh. He seizes the dragon that leads the flesh in the wrong way. God seizing the dragon is God seizing the Antichrist inside me who blocks the path of truth. God makes it so that the flesh moves according to the way God leads. Revelation 20:1-3 says, Then I saw an angel coming down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. He laid hold of the dragon, that serpent of old, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. And he cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up, and set a seal on him, so that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years were finished. But after these things he must be released for a little while. That the dragon is cast into the bottomless pit and shut up means God does not let it move. The bottomless pit is when the movement of the dragon ends. The dragon's world, which drags me to an evil path, comes to an end. From now on, God comes and makes it so that this person can no longer move. But God's word doesn't rest inside me so that the word can adjust to me. The word comes to seize the evil that is inside of me. God applies the judgment of fire for the sake of annihilating evil, something that I cannot overcome with my power. The judgment of fire refers to his power that appears from the word. That the dragon is hurled into the bottomless pit is God's final work in the end. Then, new heaven and new earth that begins a new era becomes fulfilled. Revelation 21:1 tells us, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea." The first things pass away. The dragon is someone who belongs to the first things. But the dragon is hurled into the bottomless pit, and it has now become a new thing. The inside of my spirit, then, becomes new heaven and new earth. The bottomless pit is the inside of Eden. The power of God is not to make an evil person disappear, but to change a person in a new way. Jesus told us in Matthew 5:44 to love our enemies. Jesus tells me to love my enemy, so is he someone to kill the enemy? The one who slapped me on my right cheek is the enemy, but Jesus says to give that person my left cheek too. Having been struck on the right cheek, there is no one who would give one's left cheek. But Jesus says to do this. Doesn't this enemy come in search of me every day? Even today, this enemy deceives me from inside and tries to cause turbulence. God said to love our enemies, and now the day comes when we're able to love such enemy. The day is coming when he will change the enemy, so we must give thanks. At that time, there is peace. In his second coming, he changes the enemy. In Revelation 20, the angel seized the dragon with a great chain, and it was the serpent of old. The angel binds it and hurls it into the bottomless pit. While moving, the serpent disguised itself as a dragon. But God seized and bound it, and it became the serpent of old. Would not the serpent go in search of its original home? If the serpent comes back to its own image, it will say, "Rather than going outside, I will honor the master's wishes from inside the house." And so, the blessing of servicehood is the greatest. The bottomless pit is the inside of Eden. And at this place, by only serving God and others, there is only joy. Now, when he comes again, the Spirit inside us is able to fill up with joy even by one thing, serving. God will put such joy inside us. Heaven must be seen from inside me. The 66 books of the Bible are work from one era to another that was fulfilled from inside humans. The Word is Eden, and it is heaven. But if the dragon and beasts are swarming inside me, what kind of heaven and Bible is it? That things other than God's things come out is an embarrassing work. From now on, it is the time when our faiths must stand in certainty. For God and I to be one, heaven must be seen from inside myself.